Hello friends, good morning. Today I am here to discuss very important topic from the for the UGC net. That is a teaching aptitude. Now today we will learn new topic from the paper 1, that is teaching aptitude. It is very important topic for the UGC net paper 1, right? Because from this unit we will get 10 marks. 10 marks is not easy, right? Even though it is already we know maximum concepts, we know how a teacher should be, how a student should be, and most of the everything is a already we know, but we'll do some revision how questions are coming from the UGC net and what are the focusing area from the teaching aptitude. All these things I am going to discuss very detailed. Okay, friends, please stay tuned to this channel. Please share with your friends and please try to watch complete video to get all the benefits from this lecture. I am giving everything those who are preparing for the UGC net for free, just to help to, to those who are preparing UGC net 2021 May exam. Please try to follow all my videos. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Then I am ready to help to you. Okay, friends. Now today we will start our discussion on teaching aptitude and what is the syllabus of teaching aptitude also. The main objective. This is the before the paper one syllabus. This is there, right? Before the I already discussed in one of the lecture. Before all the paper 1 subject, this data is given. The main objective is to assess the teaching and research capabilities of the candidates. The UGC NET exam is conducting for the subject knowledge as well as teaching and research capabilities, because those who are qualifying for the UGC NET are the future teachers, right? Future assistant professor. That's why they should have the skill of teaching and how a teacher should be. They should have research capabilities also. Some of the JRF candidates they will do, and net candidates also we will do research. That's why we should have the research capabilities also. That's why one chapter is teaching aptitude in the paper one. Second, next chapter is research aptitude. From these two units, we will get how many marks? 10 into 2, 20 marks we will get from the research aptitude and teaching aptitude. The test aims at assessing the teaching and research aptitude as well. Candidates are expected to possess and exhibit cognitive abilities, which include comprehension, analysis, evaluation. This is comprehension based on quantitative data interpretation and comprehension based question on reading comprehension. Like that, questions come, and we have to understand the structure of arguments. I already this is a reasoning, inductive and deductive reasoning. I already explained in the logical reasoning session. The candidates are also expected to have general awareness about teaching and learning process in higher education system also. There is a unit. Further, they should be aware of interaction between people and environment, natural resources and their impact on the quality of life. These are all the uh, this all knowledge is going to be tested in the UGC NET paper 1. That's why I am I started the teaching aptitude. Uh, we will see now what is the syllabus. First, teaching. What is teaching? What is concept of teaching? Objectives of teaching and levels of teaching. They are memory level, understanding level, and reflective level. This is very important. Every time question is coming from the levels of teaching and characteristics and basic requirements for the teacher. And what are the learner characteristics? Characteristics of adolescent and adult learners. academic, social, emotional, and cognitive individual differences of the learners, and what are the factors affecting teaching. We have to see it is related to teacher or learner. The question is asking about the factor affecting teacher, related to teacher or related to learner, support material, instructional facilities, and learning environment and learning institution. Like that, the question will come. Next, methods of teaching in institutions of higher learning. What type of methods are using in the higher higher education, and what are the teacher centered methods, and what are the learner centered methods of teaching, offline, online methods. Next, what is Swayam Prabha, MOOCs? From this also question is coming. Next, what is traditional, modern, and ICT based teaching? What are the evaluation systems? How the students are get evaluated? Elements and types of evaluation. Evaluation in choice based credit system in higher education. What is choice based credit system? This is also the in UGC NET November 2020. There is a question came from choice based credit system, computer based testing, innovations, and evaluation systems. Most important topics I will cover here. Then easily you will get 8 to 10 marks from the teaching aptitude. And communication. Teaching and one most important point here you have to remember is teaching and communication both are combination. Question is coming combination of teaching and communication, because teaching is a type of communication, right? That's why in the UGC NET this is also separate chapter. Communication is also separate unit, but most of the time the teaching and communication are related, interrelated. The question are coming in the combination of teaching and communication. And in the communication, what is the meaning of communication? What are the types and characteristics of communication? What is effective communication? What is verbal communication? And what is non-verbal communication? What is intercultural and group communications? What is classroom communication? What are the barriers to effective communication? And what is mass media and what is society? Like that, so many important topics I will cover from the communication. Also we will solve so many PYQs, previous year's question, based on teaching aptitude and communication. Okay, what is a communication? Communication can be described as the process where people exchange thoughts or ideas with one another, right? This is a communication. If I share my thought, my idea with you, that means we both of us are communicating. That is a communication. And what are the who are the effective teachers? Effective teachers strive to motivate and engage all their students in learning. Effective teachers means not only focus on the excellent, clever students. Effective teachers means they have to focus on all type of students, motivate and engage all their students in learning, rather than simply accepting that some students cannot be engaged and are destined to do poorly. Okay, they should not accept some student as a clever and some student as a poor students. They don't get anything. They have that type of destiny. Like that, a teacher should not do. They believe that the effective teachers believe that every student is capable of achieving success at school, and they do all they can to find ways of making each student successful. The effective teachers try in all ways to make each student successful. The effective teachers have high expectations of students in terms of both their standard of learning and their behavior. Not only in standard of learning, the effective teacher has to focus, expect their good behavior also, and they help their students meet those expectations. Not only they will have expectations, they has to help the students to reach their standard of learning and their behavior also. They also have high expectations of themselves and their own learning. The effective teachers also has to learn, and they has to focus on they have to focus on their own learning also, because teaching is a always a learning process, right? These are the qualities of effective teachers. And what is a classroom communication? In classroom communication, it is existing in three categories, that is verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and written communication. We will see what is verbal communications. Means anything that a teacher or student speaks aloud. We speaking with our tongue. We are speaking loud, aloud. That is called as a verbal words. We speak spoken words, speaking. And what is non-verbal communication? Refers to a body language that people express. This is a non-verbal. We will not talk anything, but we will, with our body language, we will try to explain something. That is called as a non-verbal communication. What is written communication? Is writing directed at a specific audience, such as a report card, comments, or student assignments. Teachers and students interact with one another in many different contexts and use all three of these types of communications, right? Teachers and students interact with one another in many different contexts and use all three types of communication. Sometimes teach teachers will talk, speaks, and sometimes uh, they will teach the students with their body language also. Sometimes they will write something and they will make the students understand. These are the different types of communication we will use in our daily teaching process, right? Sometimes I will speak, sometimes I will put some expressions, and sometimes I will write something to make you clear the concept. That is a different types of communication in the classroom. What are the factors of effective classroom communication? When a classroom is effective, use of best teaching strategies, right? If you use good teaching strategies, then that factor will affect the classroom communication. The classroom communication will be effective if you use a best teaching strategies, use of proper technology. If if we want some technology, if we apply some technology in our teaching, then that will be more effective. Next, effective use of feedback. Feedback also very important in the, suppose student is not getting something and they will give some feedback, and the teacher again try to explain that student in more uh, clear way. That is called as a effective use of feedback. Feedback is very mandatory. Next, to two-way communication. There should be always two-way communication, not only one-way communication. And teacher and student has to be communicate. And development of motivation. Always there should be motivation for the students, right? Otherwise, they will not get to motivated to the study. This is also effective this is a factor of effective communication. Please, principle of clarity. There should be clarity in teaching. Okay, friends, that's it. Remaining topic I will explain in the next video. We will solve more previous year's questions also. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.